The Golden State Warriors just broke the NBA. As you all know, the Warriors faced off against the Trailblazers where they won 157 to 101. But most importantly, the Golden State Warriors broke the record for most points in a quarter and dropped 55 points in the first quarter alone. So in today's video, we're going to be going through 5 things you didn't know about the Warriors during this Portland game and how these things are going to help the Golden State Warriors make it through the playoffs and win another NBA championship. So make sure to like this video, and guys, 92% of you are still not subscribed to the channel, so it'd mean the world subscribing to the channel, hit that red button down below. The first is that Klay Thompson was shooting lights out from the first quarter. As you all know, the first quarter is where the Golden State Warriors broke the record, but on top of this, Klay Thompson absolutely balled out in that quarter because he had 17 points, went 5 from 8 from the 3-point line, and also went 6 from 9 from the field goal in general. So he did a fantastic job in that first quarter, and it definitely does show that Klay Thompson is back to his full self. As you all know, Klay Thompson is coming back from an injury, so a lot of players do think, and a lot of NBA fans think, that Klay Thompson is a one and done career where he won't be the same player that he was before. But he is proving everyone wrong, especially in this first quarter, because he went 5 threes in that first and honestly did a fantastic job to surpass it, and on top of that, surpass his record of hitting over 300 threes in a single season. Klay is only the 3rd NBA player to ever do this. Steph Curry is one of them as well. But when it comes to Klay Thompson and being able to bounce back from the career he's had over the last couple of seasons, he was really able to turn this season around and become something special once again. I do think Klay Thompson still has a lot to give to the NBA, but also the Warriors team in general, and I don't think him leaving the Warriors is the best move possible. I've heard that from a lot of fans saying, they should move on from Klay, maybe get another shooting guard, but Klay Thompson is still the 2nd best shooter in the league right now, with first being Stephen Curry, and I don't think that changes, and he definitely showed it tonight. So he did a fantastic job, especially in this matchup, going 5 from 8, shooting 62% from the 3-point line, and he also got himself 3 rebounds in that first quarter as well. The first quarter is definitely where Golden State Warriors shined, and I do think Klay Thompson definitely showed a glimpse of what he's capable of, especially coming into playoff mode. As the playoffs are approaching, a lot of people think that the Golden State Warriors aren't ready, but a lot of people do say that they are just doing this just because they wanted the matchup they wanted to get. Now, Klay Thompson and the rest of the Golden State Warriors are now facing off against the Sacramento Kings in the NBA playoffs, which is the matchup they wanted. The Sacramento Kings, yes, they are a good team and they did fantastic during this season. However, when it comes to playoffs, that is something that the Sacramento Kings don't have enough of. And I'm telling you right now, guys, the playoffs is a different ball game to the regular season. You have times to actually investigate and really study each and individual team and be able to understand what's the best way to actually beat them. And no one does that better than the Golden State Warriors. Now, if we look at the other teams that the Golden State Warriors could have potentially versed, they could have gone up against also someone like the Lakers, who, yes, they are ranked in the play-ins. However, they are a great experienced team when it comes to winning NBA championship. There are also other stronger teams such as Denver, Phoenix, Clippers, all these other teams, but the matchup they definitely wanted was that Sacramento Kings, since they have the least amount of experience. But this game definitely showed not just the Klay Thompson but Golden State Warriors in general, showing that this team is definitely playoff ready and they are coming with full vengeance to win another NBA championship back to back. The second is Stephen Curry is shooting the highest percentage ever in his career. Now, as you all know, Steph is the greatest shooter alive, but he has definitely stepped it up so far this season because he is shooting the highest percentage he has ever shot, and in the most recent game against Portland, we definitely saw that on display. If you look at his 3-point percentage, he went 5 from 10 from the 3, which was 50%, but field goal in general, he actually shot 60% from the field, and also, guys, on the free throw line, he went 3 from 3 and shot 100% there. So he has honestly been smashing it out of the park when it comes to his efficiency, and he's shooting this while scoring 26, 30, 35 points a game. So in the most recent game against Portland, he did have 26 and shot the highest percentage he has ever shot in a game, and I think he has done a fantastic job because his effective field goal percentage so far this season is 61.2, which is the highest he has ever shot in a field goal percentage in his entire career. Even if we head back and look at prime Stephen Curry in 2015-2016, he actually shot an effective field goal percentage of only 60%. So he is beating that in this season, and he is doing this at the age of 35. So Stephen Curry has been aging like fine wine, but like talking back to the game against Portland, he only played 22 minutes in this matchup and was still able to give you 26 points, also had 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and also on top of that did shoot a great field goal percentage. So he's honestly doing a fantastic job, not only just for himself but also for the rest of of the team, his standard has definitely even gone up further, and I do think this is what's needed for the playoffs, especially him playing at the highest level he has ever played. If we look at the team in general, they've also shot a great field goal percentage of 60%, which is honestly insane due to the fact that Portland Trail Blazers only shot 40% from the field. So Golden State Warriors did what they had to do, but Stephen Curry in general has definitely been playing at such a high level that he is honestly doing such a fantastic job at the age of 35. So far this season, or pretty much ending the season since it's the last game, he actually averaged 29.5 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 6.3 assists. One thing that does stand out the most is Stephen Curry has actually been averaging the highest rebounds he has ever averaged at 6.1, and it's definitely fantastic to see him add that into his game. I really do feel that Stephen Curry has improved a lot on defense, and he's no longer the same liability that he was a couple of years ago. He's definitely a lot stronger, he has more intelligence around him, and having players such as Andrew Wiggins, also other defensive stoppers such as Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green, teach him the ropes on what it's like to play defense, especially if you're a bit of a smaller guard, and Stephen Curry has definitely picked that up and learned a lot of few things. So I think Curry coming into this playoffs is probably some of the best basketball we have ever seen from him, and he's only going to get better as time has gone on. So the fact that he was able to win a championship last season and secure that finals MVP, I think this season he will be able to do that again and make it all the way back into the NBA finals. The third is Jonathan Kuminga is playoff ready. Now, as you all know, Jonathan Kuminga has been an up and coming star for the Golden State Warriors, and a lot of people have seen him as definitely the next star to come out of this Warriors roster. He's done a fantastic job because he has had some time sitting on the bench, and now he is finally getting the minutes that he deserves, and he's been able to turn this season around. In his first season with the Golden State Warriors, he was only averaging 16 minutes per game, and now this season for the Golden State Warriors, he was averaging 21 minutes per game. So it was fantastic to see that increase, and he has definitely shown out and balled out, because in the most recent game against the Portland Trail Blazers, he dropped 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists, while also getting 2 blocks. And he also did this shooting 6 from 9 from the field goal as well. Now, I do think it is fantastic to see Kuminga come out of his shell, but on top of this, I do think this is going to help the Golden State Warriors tremendously, especially down the stretch. To have someone like Kuminga come off the bench and give you 10, 15 points, a couple of rebounds, a couple assists, and even a couple of blocks nowadays for Kuminga, it is honestly going to be a matchup nightmare for any other team. You have Kuminga, you also have other players such as coming off the bench such as Gary Payton II. You also have other players, Dante DiVincenzo and Jordan Poole, who are great scorers but also solid defenders, and I do think this second unit is going to be very, very strong and probably considerably the stronger than last season as well. So Kuminga has definitely provided a lot for this team, and I think what he does great out of all these other players is definitely be able to guard, any sort of player that they need him to guard. And this is something that Andrew Wiggins does especially well, which is one of the reasons why Wiggins was ranked second in finals MVP voting, due to the fact that he played such great defense when it was needed. And I think Kuminga can definitely do that, but for the second unit. We probably won't see Kuminga be in the starting lineup for any of the playoffs, especially if, they are versing taller teams such as Denver Nuggets down the stretch. However, if they do run small ball, you can definitely see Kuminga get a lot more minutes, and you definitely see him replace players such as Kevon Looney and running that center position. But I think Kuminga, for what he has done so far this season, he's done a fantastic job, because he's been averaging 9.9 points, 3.4 rebounds, and 1.8 assists. And although he's probably the third, fourth, maybe even fifth scoring option in starting fives, I do think he has done a fantastic job to provide this team for what they need and what they need moving forward. And he's done that on the defensive side of things and also the offensive side of things, and shooting at a very high percentage. The fourth is Moses Moody is Golden State Warriors' secret weapon. Now, as you all know, Kuminga has definitely been great, especially for the young guns, but Moses Moody is definitely the player you got to watch out for, because he may be getting a lot more minutes when it comes playoff time, when they definitely need a little bit of a spark off the bench. Now, Moody hasn't gotten a lot of minutes, but he definitely proved that he is able to run with the best, because in the most recent matchup against Portland, he actually dropped 25 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, also shot 4 from 7 from 3, and also went 10 from 14 from the field. So he didn't only just drop almost the same amount of points as Stephen Curry and was the second leading scorer in this Golden State Warriors team, but he did it almost at a better efficiency than Steph Curry himself. So he honestly did a fantastic job and showed a lot of great signs of what he is capable of when he's given the right amount of minutes and given that green light. Now, so far this season, he is only averaging 12 minutes per game. Last season, he was averaging 11, so he hasn't seen a huge increase, but he was able to increase in all of his stats. stats. He's averaging 4.5 points this season, where last season he was averaging 4.2. His rebounds went from 1.5 last season to 1.6, and his assists went from 0.4 last season to 0.8 this season as well. So he's been able to improve, even though he has gotten almost pretty much the same amount of minutes. But when he is given a lot of minutes, which we saw in this Portland Trailblazers game where he got 29 minutes, he was able to drop at 25 points. So I think Moody is definitely going to be a player that may be the 9th, 10th man in the roster. However, I do believe that when it comes to Moses Moody, if he's given the minutes, he can definitely shine, and I think he is going to be that little secret weapon that the Golden State Warriors need from time to time. So it will be interesting to see how this all plays out when it comes to playoff time, because I think Moody is going to play a special role in this team. The fifth and probably the most important one is that the Golden State Warriors as a team look absolutely dangerous. Now, this is something that doesn't take into consideration that obviously there are certain players that have great individual performances, such as Steph with these 26 points, Klay who dropped 17 in the first quarter, Moses Moody, the list goes on and on. But when it comes to them as a team in general, they honestly look really good because everyone is scoring, everyone is rebounding, and everyone is playmaking at the same time. If we look at their team stats, they shot 60% from the field, which was fantastic. They also went 55% from the three-point line, while Portland went 25%, and from the free throw line, they went 87%. If we look at their total rebounds, they actually grabbed 58 boards as a team, while Portland only grabbed 30. And then assist-wise, they actually dished out 47 assists, while Portland Trailblazers only dished out 25. So as a team, the Golden State Warriors are moving in great unison, and as they say, great teams win great championships, and I do think them as a team and a collective are playing some of the best basketball we have ever seen from this Golden State Warriors roster.